Hello students, welcome to the online class. In this video, we are going to continue chapter number 2, Nutrition in Animals. And this video is part 3 of chapter 2, Nutrition in Animals. In this video, we will study all the remaining topics of chapter 2. Before half-yearly exam, 2 videos I sent of this chapter. So, whatever the now remaining topics we will study in this video. So we are going to cover the topics. Topic 1, nutrition in humans. In nutrition in humans we will study mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine, anus and glands. So mouth one part we had already studied in part 2 video. So the remaining topics from esophagus, stomach, small intestine, anus and glands will study in this video. And the next topic, nutrition in ruminants. So let's start. Second point of nutrition in humans means in human body how the nutrients we absorb in different steps and in different processes we get the nutrients in the body through different process and through different organs. So second step of the digestion of and all this is esophagus, and this is called as food pipe. Esophagus called as what? More food pipe. So we'll see in this. In the mouth there are two openings. One for the passage of air, windpipe. Passage means the way. Means one for the passing of air, one pipe is for the way of air to enter, that is what? Windpipe. There are the two openings in the mouth. One is windpipe and the other for the passage of food, means other for the carrying of the food, for the passing of the food. The second opening is called as esophagus or food pipe. As you can see in this picture, this is mouth, and in the mouth there are two openings, means from that the two openings are there. That one is what? For the wind, means for the air to enter in the body. So that pipe is called windpipe and it is more called as trachea. And the second pipe is esophagus, which is called as food pipe. So there are two openings which are windpipe and food pipe. Food moves down through the esophagus with a wave-like movement, means through the food pipe. Through this pipe the food goes down in a wave-like movement. Wave-like movement how? In this way, in this movement the food goes down through this pipe in a wave-like movement, and this movement is called peristalsis, means the movement of the food in a wave-like, that movement is called peristalsis. The esophagus terminates in the stomach, means the esophagus, this food pipe, then goes and to the stomach, means that ends to the stomach, terminates to the stomach. That is what? Esophagus, and it is going down to the stomach. So we'll see how it is going. See, third process is stomach in human body. What happened here? See, it is a muscular J-shaped bag-like structure, means the shape of the stomach is how? J-like. You know how J? In this way J. So here the movement of this how J? In this way. So as you can see, the movement of this stomach is also in J shape, where partial digestion of food takes place, means where some part of digestion only takes place, means the whole process of digestion is not only happen in the stomach, only some part of the digestion of food takes place in the stomach. The stomach can hold 2 liters of food at a time. It means the stomach can hold at a time only 2 liters of food. The muscles of the stomach help churn food and convert it into the semi-solid paste known as chyme. Means the muscles of the stomach, what does it? They churn the food, means it rotates the food, and then after that they convert into a semi-solid paste, means not full solid, and not the full liquid, means half solid paste, and this solid paste known as chyme. The walls of the stomach contain millions of gastric glands. Means in the walls, means the outer part or the inner part of the stomach contains walls, and these walls what contains millions of gastric glands which release gastric juices that help break down proteins. Means these glands produce juice, and this juice helps to break down the food and to give the proteins to the body. As you can see, this is what stomach. In this stomach, in the walls of the stomach produce gastric juice which helps to break down the food. Gastric juices includes acids such as HCl, means hydrochloric acid. In gastric juice some acids include, and this acid include as what? Hydrochloric acid, which activates the enzymes pepsin and prevents bacterial growth on food. Means this juice activates the enzymes which helps in digestion process and prevents the bacterial growth. Means in our body also some bacteria is present, so some bacterial growth it prevents, which who prevent that juice prevents hydrochloric acid, some prevention from the bacterial growth on food. And mucus, that helps the inner lining of the stomach from the action of acids. See, when acid will generate in the body, it can burn the walls of the acid now. So to prevent this, mucus is there. It is a semi liquid type present substance present in the body, which protects the inner lining of the stomach from the acid and from the enzymes. So means the acid enzyme will not harm the walls of the body. So who prevent this? Mucus prevents it, because in the body, in the stomach, acids naturally produced through the gastric gland. So to protect the walls of the stomach, mucus prevent the walls of the stomach and the inner lining of the stomach. Food gets partially digested in the stomach. Means some part of the food partially digested in the stomach and then passes into the small intestine. Means from the stomach some part of the food get digested, and then it pass the digested, means some part of digested food to the what? To the small intestine. Here gastric gland, means gastric gland is in this way it is present in the body, and it produce a gastric juice. A gastric juice in the form of some acids like what? HCl, means hydrochloric acid, electrolytes, mucus, water, in bicarbonate, intrinsic factor, means all these acids present in the gastric juice, and these acids helps in the digestion of food. Then the small intestine, means from the stomach the food has passed to the small intestine. Now what is the role of a small intestine? See, it is a long, narrow, coiled tube and the site for complete digestion of food. Means it is a long, means it is like a tube. As you can see here, this is what? Long. It is a narrow, means as you can see it is in a narrow space it is has present. So it narrow, coiled tube, and the site means area, means this is the area for complete digestion of food. Small intestine is the area for complete digestion of food. Means all the complete digestion will happen in the small intestine. It receives juices from liver, pancreas and other intestinal glands. Means the juices are very important in the body. Why? Because these juices makes the full digestion process happen. So the juices comes from the liver, pancreas and other intestinal glands, and which secretes various enzymes. Means the important various enzymes which act on different food particles. Means these enzymes act on different food particles and help to get the food get digested. So this is the small intestine. Liver secretes bile juice. See, the different organs secretes different juice, means produce different. So liver produce bile juice and pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, means pancreas produce pancreatic juice. This along with other digestive juices break down the complex food molecules into simpler forms. It means all these digestive juices break down the complex food molecules into simpler form. Means we eat the food in a small food pieces. So these food pieces more gets break down into simpler form. And water soluble molecules, means with the water it get mixed with the water and it gets make a paste in simpler form that can be digested and absorbed by the body. Means after breaking down the food into simpler form, then that paste, that food can be digested and absorbed by the body easily. Absorption of digested food also takes place in the small intestine. Means after getting breaking down of the food, in the small intestine the food gets digested and absorbed by the body. This is the small intestine. Means in the small intestine the juice from liver, from the gallbladder and from the pancreas and from all the secretive juice comes to the small intestine and break down the food, and a complete digestion of food happens here. Then the inner walls of the small intestine has a number of finger like projections called villi. Means in the small intestine hair like projection, as you can see, this is what small intestine. The inner part of the small intestine have this type of projection hair like structure. This is what villi. It is in the zoom form, but it is present in very small shape in the small intestine, and that is called villi. And that what helps, what is the role of villi? See, these are connected to a network of fine blood capillaries. Means villi are connected to a network of blood capillaries which help absorb the digested food in the blood. Means villi helps to absorb the digested food in the blood. The absorbed nutrients are carried by blood to different parts of the body for assimilation. Means these absorbed nutrients are carried by the blood, and the blood passes every part of the body, so that what full body can get nutrient through the blood. So this is the who helps in carrying in absorbing the food into the blood. Villi helps. As you can see, these are what blood capillaries and blood capillaries which are connected to the villi and helps to absorb the food, and then food into the blood get mixed and pass to the whole parts of the body. Then what comes? Large intestine. After small intestine, large intestine. Most of the digestion and absorption of food is completed in the small intestine. It means what? Most of the digestion and absorption of food is already happened in the small intestine, but some food remains undigested. But although these some food remains undigested only. So this undigested food passes from the small intestine to a wide tube called large intestine. Means the undigested food from the small intestine pass to the large intestine. Most of the water present in the undigested waste gets absorbed by the body. Means most of the water present in which waste, undigested food, undigested waste, and this water absorbed by the body. This is the large intestine. Okay. So the waste now almost solid. Means after the undigested food, the waste which is remained, that was now almost in paste form, in solid form, is moved to the last part of the large intestine called rectum. Means from the small the large intestine, that solid paste, that waste of the body, that is passed through the rectum. Okay. And then the rectum terminates in the anus. Means after the rectum, this solid paste pass to the anus, and through the anus it comes out to the body. So what is the role of anus? See, undigested food in the form of feces. Feces means the waste of the human body. Means waste of the bodies. So the waste is thrown out of the body through the anus. Roughage Cellulose and fibers add bulk to the phases, means roughage, which contains what? Cellulose and fibers. It add bulk, it make a paste and helps, it makes a phases and it comes through the anus. Then glands. Now what is the role of glands in this? See, there are special organs in the body which produce digestive juices, means as I have already discussed already, and this we have seen that some special organs are present in the body which produce some special juices which helps in the digestion process. So here are some special organs in the body which produce digestive juices that helps break down into simpler form, means which help the breaking down of food materials and from complex food molecules to the simpler form. These organs are called gland, and these special organs which produce these special juices, so these organs are called glands. The glands associated with the digestive system are salivary glands, liver and pancreas. So the three important glands which are associated, means which are connected with the digestive system. So which are these glands? Salivary glands, liver and pancreas. These glands release various enzymes to help break down complex organic molecules into simpler molecules. Means these glands release some various enzymes, and these enzymes helps to break down the complex organic molecule to the simpler molecule. So first is salivary gland, and this is already we have seen in the previous part also. There are three pairs of salivary glands found in the mouth, means three types of glands found in the mouth. As you can see in this through different color that glands is shown. Salivary glands release saliva which contains enzyme amylase, means salivary glands produce saliva, and this saliva the amylase enzyme contains. This salivary amylase breaks down starch into sugar, means this salivary juice amylase enzyme break down the starch present into the body into the sugars. And these are the three glands present in the mouth. These three glands names is given. This here present is patriotic gland, parotid gland. Here is present submandibular gland, and here sublingual gland. Then liver. The liver also what forms some important juice. It is the largest gland in our body and is reddish brown. As you can see, this is what liver. It is in color reddish brown, and it is the largest gland in the body. So it secretes bile juice. This liver what produce? It secrete, means it produce bile juice. The bile juice break down large fat. And what is the role of bile juice? What is the working of bile juice here? The bile juice break down the large fat present in the body. So the large fat molecules into smaller fat molecules, means the large fat present in the body. So liver juice break down the large fat molecules into smaller fat molecules. That is, fats are broken down into fatty acids and glycerol, means the fat which is present in the body, it is broken down through the liver juice, and this after broken down it converts into fatty acids and glycerol. This is called emulsification of fats, means it is called emulsification of fats. Just below the liver is a small structure called gallbladder, means just below the liver. Here, as you can see in this picture, below the liver that there is present, that is what? Gallbladder. This green structure you can see, this is gallbladder. Okay. So called gallbladder, which stores the bile juice, means it keeps stored the bile juice secreted by the liver, and then it releases bile juice into the small intestine through the bile duct, means this part, this salivary gland keep store the bile juice from the liver, and then as it is needed to the small intestine, it pass this bile juice to the small intestine to get the food digested. So it releases bile into the small intestine through the bile duct. Okay, this is what gallbladder. It contains bile juice, and then it passes through the small intestine in this form. You can see here is the way to pass this bile juice to the small intestine. Okay. Then third gland is pancreas. This is the second largest gland in our body. Pancreas is the, as you can see, this is liver, this is gallbladder, and that yellowish part you can see, this is what? Pancreas. It is the second largest gland in the body. So it is yellowish in color. It releases pancreatic juice into the small intestine through a pancreatic duct. Means through the, this is, you can see, this is bile duct, this is pancreas, and through the pancreas duct, means through the tube, that pancreatic juice pass to the small intestine. This is a small intestine. So pancreatic juice contains enzymes for breaking down carbohydrates, proteins and fat. Means through the pancreatic juice, what the food particles break down? The carbohydrates, proteins and fats food particles get break down into the simpler form. Now our next topic is so here that nutrition in humans has completed. Okay. Now next is nutrition in ruminants. A ruminant is an animal that digests its food into two steps. See children, as the digestion process happens in different steps, in step by step in the human body, same in the animal's body also digestion process takes place in two steps. Ruminants include cattle, goats, sheep, camels, llamas, giraffes, deer, and antelopes. Means those animals we call as ruminants. These animals regurgitate their food, that is, they bring the swallowed food up again to the mouth for chewing. As some, maybe you have seen some animals like cow, when they chew their food, how in the circle, how in the round form they rotate their food from up to down. So this is called as regurgitate. So this swallowed food, they do movement of up down again and again for chewing. All ruminants are herbivores. Means those animals which are herbivores are called ruminants. So they are also called grass eating animals. Means herbivores, as we know, what? Those who eat plants. So those animals specially what? Eat grass. That's why they are also called grass eating animals. They have broad mouths. We have seen like cow, buffalo. What? They have what? Broad mouths with broad front teeth. And front teeth also we have seen like as you can see, this is broad mouth with front broad teeth. Their teeth help them pluck leaves and pull out grasses. Means their teeth, what they help them? To pluck leaves. Means to catch the leaves from the trees and then pull out the grasses, and to take the grasses, pull out the grasses. Ruminants also have grinding teeth to chew food. Means they have some special grinding teeth also to chew the food. The ruminants first swallowed food and regurgitate semi-digested from known as curd. Means the ruminants what? First swallow the food and then regurgitate, means they that movement, up and down movement, it makes the semi-digested food, and that is known as curd. Means here some part of the digestion process happen, means some food get digested, and this undigested semi-digested food known as curd. Then they chew the curd thoroughly. Means after that regurgitate, they thoroughly chew the curd. Means semi-digested food, then they thoroughly chew, and this process is called rumination. This process is what? Called rumination. A ruminant's stomach has 4 chambers. Means a ruminant's an animal has 4 chambers in the stomach. First is rumen. This is the largest chamber and issued for storing food. Means rumen what? Store the food in the body of ruminant. And as we can see in this, what is this? This is that red part is what? Rumen. It stores the food in the body of the ruminant. The swallowed food first goes here and is partially digested into curd. Means that the swallowed once they chew half they chew, and then that part enter into the rumen, and then here semi digested food process happen, and that curd gets digest full here. Then second part is reticulum. Reticulum part. Second part is reticulum. Where is reticulum? This part is reticulum. So this chamber looks like a honeycomb. It returns the curd back to the mouth for rumination. After rumination, the food is swallowed again and digested further. Means once they swallowed food here, then that food comes here in the reticulum. Then reticulum sends the food again to the mouth. Again they chew, and then again it swallows down and goes for the digestion, further digestion process. Then third is omesum. This is the smallest chamber where excess water in food is absorbed. Means omesum. This is the small chamber, and here what is stored? Water is stored, and that water which goes for further digestion and is absorbed. Then fourth part is abomesum. Abomesum, where this is abomesum, and this part, yellow part is abomesum. What happened here? This is the true stomach where gastric juices are secreted to aid digestion. Means for every absorption and for digestion process, juices are important, gastric juices. So abomesum is the organ, stomach part, where gastric juices produces for the digestion process. Then the food is then sent to the small intestine for the absorption of nutrients. Then the food is what? That food here from here pass to the small intestine. This is what? Small intestine to get digest food here. So then grasses and other plants contain a carbohydrate called cellulose, which is not digested by humans. As you know children, this ruminants what eats grasses, है ना? So grasses and other plant contain a carbohydrate. Mean grasses and other plant what contains carbohydrates, and this called what? Cellulose, which is not digested by humans. Means directly eating grasses and these plants contain cellulose, which humans cannot digest this cellulose. But ruminants are able to digest cellulose because they have cellulose digesting bacteria. Why ruminants are able to digest cellulose? As you know, we have seen a cow, buffalo, they easily eat the grasses and they easily it gets digested in their body. Why? Because of the cellulose digesting bacteria. The bacteria, cellulose digesting bacteria is present, which helps the to digest this grasses and all. And protozoa living symbiotically in a part of the digestive system. Means the bacteria, which bacteria? Cellulose digesting bacteria and protozoa, they live symbiotically. Means they live mutually, so that in the part of the digestive system called cecum. Means in the cecum they live symbiotically, they live mutually, and they help to the digesting process. And that digestive system is called cecum. This this part is called cecum. Okay. This symbiotic bacteria help ruminants digest cellulose and get food and shelter in return from the ruminants. Means these bacteria help in digesting of the cellulose and get food. Means they then after that they get food and shelter in return from the ruminants. Cecum is a sac-like structure located between the small and large intestines. As you can see, this is a cecum which is present in between the small intestine and large intestine. You can see this is the small intestine and this is the large intestine. So in between the small and large intestine, what is present? Cecum. In fact, it is considered to be the beginning of the large intestine. Means that cecum we can consider as the beginning of the large intestine also, because this is a small intestine, this is large intestine, and this is what? Cecum. So that was the digestion process, how it is happen in the ruminants. Okay children, I hope you understood it well. Thank you children.